Aboriginal workers and their relatives in Western Australia have been awarded $180 million in stolen wages. Here's what's going on. For most of the last century, governments in Australia have withheld wages from Aboriginal employees or authorised employers to withhold wages under racial segregation policies. Under decades of so-called protection policy, protection or welfare boards were created through race-based government legislation and oversaw policies of racial segregation. These policies included the forced removal of First Nations people onto missions, also known as reserves, districts, or settlements. People living on missions were under constant surveillance to restrict and police individual freedoms and rights, such as being able to collect your own wage. Until the 1970s, many First Nations people had their employment overseen and their wages withheld by state and territory governments. Later down the line, when employees attempted to access their wages, either they were denied access or received very little. This is now collectively known as stolen wages. Employees and their families have fought for their rightful compensation since, and on Wednesday, a settlement of $180.4 million was reached with the Western Australian state government and these families. Shine Lawyers Joint Head of Class Actions, Vicky Anzalatos, who represented the claimants, said this was a victory for the many thousands of First Nations people affected. She said, "Workers and their descendants suffered intergenerational disadvantage because of the legislation in place in the state of Western Australia over many decades, which directly affected the lives and livelihoods of Aboriginal people." While the result was welcomed, several Indigenous leaders have pointed out how long this recognition has taken. Mirrawong elder David Nuri said, "I'm happy in one way, but in the other way, I'm sad to know my people, my parents deserve this news more, and they're gone now." WA Premier Roger Cook described the settlement as an important development in recognising the past injustices inflicted on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Premier Cook also hopes that this agreement can contribute to the healing of those impacted. But this settlement is likely just the beginning, and there is work to be done in not just securing the compensation, but facilitating the broader impacts of these cases of recognition, such as truth-telling about our past and the ongoing effects on First Nations people. Hopefully, greater understanding of the experiences of Aboriginal people in Western Australia during this sad earlier time in history is also a lasting legacy of this class action, Anzalatos said. As David Nuri reminds us, it's all to do with the effort our people have put in through hardship. Our people were basically treated like slaves.